She had
canceled.
No, it's true. It's okay because they were married.
Okay, well, yeah.
And they were married, and she's not a man. Okay.
You're making it worse.
But the thing is I think, okay, now they've been there, they've done that, they've got their book deals, they're making a bunch of money,
and more power to them.
Their kids are grown now, and they're probably going to have grandkids. Why would she want to do that?
Why?
I think he's just floating that because, why not? Trump says shit and gets mileage out of it.
Yeah.
I may as well say it too.
Yeah,
I think that's why he's doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no rules anymore. You're not in trouble for making stuff up.
And he never did say why Michelle Obama's going to be my running mate. He said, "What if Michelle Obama were my running mate?"
Which is
look at this.
Which is a smart move because that's what's carrying him. His connection to Obama is one of the things carrying him.
Exactly.
You know, and like you said, but it's not just that. It's his campaign. Now he doesn't look like the most interesting character, but if you look at his campaign, he's got a mixed group of people, Latinos. He's got a lot of women, black women, white women. He's got working guys who are part of the unions, and they're working the city. He's still leading non-college white men. He's still leading everyone by double. He's still 35%. That's why he's still in the game, is because he's working the older part of the Democratic, and they're more comfortable with him. And the slightly younger Gen X to Z, they're moving towards Bernie.
Well, you used an interesting term. They're more comfortable with him.
Yes.
And I think that's because when he says something, they get it.
Yeah.
And it's not 17 trillion for green energy.
Right.
I like my SUV. What are you talking about? He's just a guy who's talking their language.
And there's people who are comfortable with Biden, who aren't comfortable with Bernie. There are people who are comfortable with Bernie that are not comfortable with Warren, because even though Bernie makes stuff up, his culture, now they got some problems. Bernie culture got some problems, but there's a comfort level there where it's not like with James Strong's a white man, he can't say what he wants to say. In the Warren field, there's a feeling amongst the people that I know who support Warren. There are rules. Like what you said about Kobe, you're done. You wouldn't be welcome at a lot of the places I used to be involved in artistically, whatever. They'd be like, you, James. And actually, that's what they say. Now, I think that's a little extreme because they would, if they're actually having to be confronted on doing that, they'll pull back.
Sure.
But theoretically, you're out of the ballgame for not just saying, well, someone said that he did it, so he's guilty no matter what.
Right.
Which is, if you have that view, then the Scottsboro boys go to jail. The Central Park Five go to jail. Emmett Till was justified.
Just because you're accused of something doesn't mean you're guilty. And when he was accused of this, he didn't run away. He didn't hide. He didn't. He came out front. He talked about it. And in my opinion, justice was done. Now we'll truly never know.
We'll never know.
I think justice was done.
But why can't you say that without being fired? You know,
I think you should. It's this whole tribalism thing that we've got going on. It's you're either 100% for me or you're 100% against me. You can't be for me on this and against me on that for whatever reason. That's how things work nowadays.
I mean,
and we've got to get past that.
We got to get past that. I mean, even before that, there were one of the guys who's one of the male feminists, whatever that I know, was posting when Art Bell died. Well, I'm glad he died because Rush Limbaugh is his fault. And I'm like, how could you possibly make that connection?
Yeah, I saw that post. That individual has no idea what he's talking about.
No, he doesn't. But he doesn't care because they have rules. They're liberals. They are people who know how things should be. And this same person told me I didn't realize what it was, but it was somebody posted something Warren and Sanders ticket. It was during the debate. And during the debate, I was having fun because I was like, yeah, go get Tulsi Gabbard. I was just having fun doing Rocky themes.
Sure.
So I just saw that. I go, man, I wouldn't vote for that ticket. I want Gabbard. So this guy who knows me personally is like, you've got to be fucking kidding. He cursed at me. And I'm just like, if you curse at me, I'm like, this is Facebook? I'm like, I know you. So I kind of said, no, I'm not. And I said the word back. And he's like, Donald Trump's a Nazi and you have to vote for him. Vote for whoever the Democrat is. And I'm saying, well, how about this? How about one of them win, and how about somebody not 70 who's a crazy socialist, white socialist? How about maybe a black or Latino person, woman? I even said woman.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, I'm trying to get, who actually can speak in sentences and not lie to us all the time. He goes, well, Donald Trump's enabling Nazis, and you have no choice. And if you don't vote for this person, I will ridicule you.
Those are your marching orders.
So
get with the program.
So I responded, I normally don't take orders from white liberal dudes. And if you want to ridicule someone, go up to North St. Louis. Go up to Goodfellow and ridicule those black kids who aren't going to vote. I don't see how far you get.
Yeah.
Because you're saying it to me because you see me civilized, which I take as actually racism kind of on your part, because you would never talk that way to these cats aren't voting, and I'm just saying that you're throwing that Nazi stuff out like I'm all of a sudden now supposed to vote for a couple losers because you're scaring me with Donald Trump's Nazism.
And where did that term come from anyway?
What term?
Everybody who you don't agree with is a Nazi.
I think it came from like 1945.
I know, but it's again.
Ronald Reagan, Obama, they were all Nazis. Bush was a Nazi.
You're channeling Quentin Tarantino with that very funny movie, The Inglourious Basterds.
Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
Yeah,
But
I
exactly.
honestly think that's where it came from because they
They
all watched that movie. They're like, yes, we're champions. Yeah. We will deliver you from the evil Nazis. There are no Nazis in St. Louis.
It was a movie. And
Donald Trump is not a Nazi.
No, he's not. He's not.
It's nonsense. But it's funny because at some point his response was, "You need to get some peace because you're messed up." And then they proceeded these are guys I know. How could you possibly? Because basically what I said is a lot of the women who are calling cops on these young black kids who are on the street are married to you Nazi punchers. And I just said as a colloquial, my wife would never do that. And I'm like, I'm not talking about you specifically. I'm talking about a lot of you guys who are running around talking about, but as it turns out, every one of those people who got upset with me, I saw them, these black women performers I'm talking about, all have an experience where one of them was, in their interpretation, very, very racially offensive to them. Mm-hmm. All liberals, all these white liberal guys. And it's just interesting how they use Trump as a crutch. Oh, I'm not racist. I'm not sexist. Donald Trump said this on this tape. I hate that guy, and I'm going to punch his supporters. And it's a way to protect themselves from fixing themselves.
Here's the thing that I've said, and I've never gotten a straight answer out of them. If Donald Trump is such a deplorable, a moron, a racist, a Nazi, he should be real easy to beat in the election. Just beat it.
That's what I say.
Just beat him in November. Put somebody out there who can. But I'm here to tell you, I don't know if that person exists. I don't know if that person exists. Now, it's very early in the process. Mm-hmm. I would say of all of them that are running, Biden, Bloomberg, that might be it. That might be the only two that could beat him.
What I would say is it's some alliance with Biden as the guy, with Bernie actually. I predict Biden plays nice with if he loses the election. I don't predict that it's going to be like a Hillary thing.
No. If he loses,
I think he's going to play nice with Biden, and I think Bloomberg's money. I think that's the best chance to beat him.
Biden has never been that. Biden has lost a whole lot of elections, and he's never been the spoiled sport. Never. He's always been a gentleman. And so this time around, if he loses, I still think he's the odds-on favorite to win.
I think he is.
But if he loses, I don't think he'll be a spoiled sport about it.
Yeah, I honestly don't think it's going to be a problem for him. I think that once Warren and a few others are gone, Buttigieg are gone, I think that they'll have a spirited race. But I think that
think it'll be those two.
Who?
Biden and Bernie.
Yeah, I think that's gonna end.
You don't think Klobuchar is going to?
No. I think Klobuchar might hang around because she did well, but there's just no space for her because people want to win and they're afraid. They're going to pick one of those two because they have the momentum.
Steyer and Bloomberg are probably going to hang around because they'll never run out of money.
I think Gabbard's going to be around as long as she wants because she's got a couple billionaires who are like, hey, I like Gabby. Yang's got a lot of donors. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go deep into May. I would not be surprised because they both have avid following. I think it's better for the primary if Gabbard and Yang stay in because then they can't say, oh, it's all white people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so they kind of add some young flavor because once they leave, it gets real white male, and then that's where they start. Which, and that's another thing. I hear these people on MSNBC and going, "Oh my gosh, they're so unfair to the black candidates. They're so unfair." Black people don't just vote for people because they're black, and this is the whole crap thing with identity politics. Black people are really, a lot of black are trying not to have to deal with race. They looked at the candidates. They looked at Harris and she stunk. They looked at Corey and she stunk, and they picked Bernie or they picked Biden. So when black people don't focus on race, white people make them deal with race.
Well, I think this country as a whole is focusing less and less and less on race all the time.
In everyday life.
And yes, and I will use Barack Obama as an example. I mean, they say, well, Black America elected Barack Obama. Black America is 12% of the country.
Right.
If every black person voted for Barack Obama and no one else did, he'd be a rounding error.
Right.
So this country elected him twice. So we were able to look past race. They voted for him because they thought he was going to do the job. He's well spoken. He put forth his message intelligently. People thought about it. Yeah. He was, and they elected him twice. Had nothing to do with the color of his skin. And I'll say this too, and his mother was white.
Yes.
So he's half black. He's half white. So
that's kind of an American standard thing when America made that decision. That wasn't something black people decided.
Sure, but right. But what I'm saying is, it's not so much a black and white thing because you never heard the term mulatto used.
No,
okay, because that's from the past. Okay, and the term Negro's not used.
Ooh.
He's black.
Yeah.
Okay, or I like the term he's American. Because
that's what he said.
That's exactly right.
But that's not okay anymore.
But he was born in Kenya.
He wasn't. Almost got me. You almost got me. Very good. Very good. You look so serious. I'm like, oh shit. Oh, wait a minute. Good one. You got that. You got that one off.
Well, that was the other thing. You know, Trump was a birther.
Yes.
For a long time.
Insane.
It was insane. And I always said, well, what do you mean? Well, he's never given his birth certificate. I said, you know why he's never shown his birth certificate? Because he was born in Kenya. I said, no, because your blood pressure is going up 17 points because of that.
Right.
It's working.
Yeah.
It's working.
Right.
He's jabbing you.
Because
you think his parents were so smart? Let's see. He was born in Kenya.
1961.
But let's forge his birth certificate because when he's going to be president,
right,
that's going to come
in
back to bite him.
1961 with your dad from Africa.
Yeah, exactly. Stop
it's insane.
It is insane.
But going back to like with the Bernie thing, being comfortable. I was talking about in the coffee house where we were talking about Mitt Romney possibly running, and these couple people were working there were trying to convince me, and I was like, they were making a convincing argument. I'm not expecting it to happen, but it was good. It was an interesting conversation, and the Bernie guy at the end of the counter just turns and goes, "What about Bernie?" And so I'm trying to ignore him, but I'm like, dude, if you ignore Bernie bros, they just get really agitated. I've studied them in the wild, and they're very dangerous. So finally I looked at him, I said, okay, and I let him blah, 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 and I just let him talk. And then I said, yeah, you're right. Hillary Clinton should leave Bernie alone. I agree. Cool, he's been placated. He will feed and he will go away. So then he goes, and then Hillary Clinton cheated in the primary. Uh-oh. So I said, okay, don't do it. How did she cheat? All of a sudden, what do you mean, how did she cheat? I saw it, she cheated. Okay, how exactly did she cheat? He lost it.
Because you asked him for a fact.
Yeah, he goes, this is what he said specifically. How dare you question me and Bernie on this? And then he starts yelling at me.
Was Bernie standing next to him?
in his mind he was. And so he starts, literally yelling in this coffee house. I'm just like, okay, and I'm not going back. I'm just, okay. I'm agreeing with him, even though he's not making stuff up. So then he's getting really loud, and I'm like, I hang out there a lot. So, and I said, hey, it's a public place, man. So he goes, oh, okay. So he comes closer, and I'm thinking, okay, well, at least he'll be less. He's still taking the same volume, and then he gets right up on me, and he's fingers in my face, and you need to realize that she treated us badly, and if she made us feel terrible, and boom, boom, boom. I go, that's not cheating. So then he starts pushing my arm. He goes, well, I'm not talking about that now. And I kind of give him this look like, hey, man.
Pushing the arm of a 220-pound black man bald,
Yes.
who moves heavy furniture
Yes.
for a living, heavy things for a living.
Yes, and eventually kind of give him the look like, hey, dude, time to go.